Would you live with a woman before you were married to her?
I think I would.
I think that tradition has gone out the window of like, we don't live together till we're married.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to now.
Yeah.
Because you got to know, what they're like when they're angry.
Yeah.
You can't really always tell.
You can make them angry in the
public square.
Yeah. You bought a chicken for too much money, too many shekels.
Too many beans.
You sold all our beans for too many chickens. She's mad about how many chickens you bought.
Yeah, but I'm like, our chickens can make eggs.
You're right. Like, I'm sorry I got so angry. You just frustrate me sometimes.
My name is Tabitha Monochrome.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Monochrome.
I'm the most boring person to ever exist.
Well,
do you want to do this?
Yeah, well, in my ever, stretching quest to become famous, if you saw last week's episode, I'm a little bit frustrated. But I've decided to put work into it. I've decided that, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to put effort in. You got to create projects for yourself. So I've been working on what could be a play, what could be a movie, but it's a screenplay.
Yeah.
And so I have the first, one of the scenes that I've been working on, I was thinking maybe it could be fun for me to work it out. And you can kind of give me some notes. We could talk through some of the story beats if you have any problems with it. So I have...
Oh, so you want me to, read for a part or something?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. This would be a good part for you. And there's your copy. And,
okay. Dirty Laundry, written by James Donland. Based on an autobiography of Malcolm X.
Yeah, so that's just like a working title. So I would like you to read the stage directions, and you will be playing the part of Officer P by Curious Gumption, and my character I'll read for the part of Detective Andre Hammercock.
Is the name but is the name P by Curious Gumption? Does it have anything to do with my character?
No. Well, that's his name. That's his middle name. First name's P for Paddy.
But I noticed mine is P by Curious Gumption, and yours is Hammercock.
Andre Hammercock. You're actually Officer P by Curious Gumption. You're only really referred to as Gumption. Your name is never really brought up in the first or middle name because you don't really do that in a movie.
Okay.
So it's a show about two police officers that are deep undercover.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of what I think could be something. That
I think I might have a little song that might fit well to kind of set the scene here.
Okay, yeah, songs are good. I think setting the tone, it might be a good read through, might give us a little bit of play here.
Yeah, let's maybe turn this
that's
down
actually
a little
perfect.
bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's
well, I picked the original Pink Panther song.
Is it sung by farts? All right, so if you could read the stage directions for me, I'd appreciate it. And then I'll read the part of Detective Andre Hammercock, and you'll be Officer Gumption.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
So if you want to start.
Interior apartment, night, Sacramento, California. Detective Andre Hammercock and Officer P by Curious Gumption are standing in a third-floor apartment's kitchenette, smoking 400 cigarettes.
I think we may have gotten in too deep this time. This whole being undercover thing is driving me nuts. All the drugs, the lying, the late nights.
This job's a tough one. It's nothing like that underground leather-clad gay nightclub we had to bust.
That was a biker gang. Also, you didn't have to blow all those guys. That wasn't even really part of the investigation.
Oh, we busted those criminals, all right. Busted them hard. Now they're never seen outside of a prison cell.
All right.
I kind of messed that line up.
That's okay.
I noticed my guy is gay. Even though he
was undercover. He was undercover.
Okay. All right, I get that.
So, yeah, we'll move on.
Can I hit that line again?
Hit the line again, and then you read the stage direction after, and we'll move on.
Oh, we busted those criminals, all right. Busted them hard. Now they'll never see the outside of a prison cell.
There you go.
Gumption goes to the window and looks out of the blinds. Hammercock pours 2 glasses of whiskey and hands one to Gumption.
If this is my last night as a detective, I want to make a toast. It takes a certain kind of man to take down these animals. There's a thin line between man and animal. A thin, red, sensitive line.
Like the gooch?
No, not like the gooch. Like a metaphor.
The gooch is a metaphor. You touch that thing or blow it with the ice cubes in your mouth. I've never seen men turn into animals, all right?
Try that one again. There you go. I'll give you another. You got it first.
This is my first read.
Yeah,
first read.
It's okay. Just give it another read. I'll lead you into it.
Okay.
So I'll read my line again, and then you can go.
If this is my last night as a detective, I want to make a toast. It takes a certain kind of man to take down these animals. There's a thin line between man and animal, a thin, red, sensitive line.
Like the gooch?
No, not like the gooch. It's like a metaphor.
The gooch is a metaphor. You touch that thing or blow on it with ice cubes in your mouth, and I've seen men turn into animals, all right?
All right, there we go. So
That
that's
was
good.
a little better.
This was a tough job. Took a bullet in the leg for this. I was sick. It was sick what these thugs were doing, using high school kids to push drugs onto the community. These cartels are a different breed of evil.
I got too deep on this one. My head's all messed up. You took a bullet to the leg. I made 17 fake Instagram accounts pretending to be different teenage girls. Catfished the entire football team and got through half of the lacrosse team before my cover was blown.
I don't know why you would do that.
I even went deep inside the high school, enrolled in classes, made friends, even took the ACT. Got a 3. Got put in special needs classes, for crying out loud. Finally learned how to read.
That's what you've been doing? I took a bullet in the leg for this job and you've just been attending high school?
Even took a woodshop class. Look, I made you this. Gumption reaches into his bag and pulls out a plain block of wood.
What is it?
No idea. Wasn't allowed to touch any of the tools. I just kept sanding the same block over and over again. So my guy is not only secretly gay, but not even secretly, he's an imbecile.
Listen, man, you got to get into the character.
I just don't understand why my character had to be this guy.
All right, let's get to the end, and I'll take your notes after, okay?
A commotion outside. Hammercock runs to the window.
It's the cartel. They're here.
Gumption puts a lampshade over his head. They would never shoot me if I was a lamp. Nobody kills a lamp.
If this is the end, I just want to say, even though I don't understand your methods, you're a damn good cop.
And I just wanted to say the N-word one last time. God. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities
Listen,
in
you're
this
a damn
Gumption
good cop,
character.
man.
Suddenly, a brick flies through the window, followed by a Molotov cocktail. Gumption is engulfed in flames. He starts peeing on himself to put out the fire. It doesn't work. He tries blowing on the fire as it spreads around his body.
Gumption, no!
Bullets fly in through the window. They pepper the walls and Gumption's body. Hammercock dodges the gunfire and ducks behind a couch.
It was all for you, Christina.
Hammercock touches the locket on his necklace. I'm shitting!
All right, finish it up. This is the last one.
Gumption starts pooing an unimaginable amount. His charred, bullet-ridden body falls into the pile he has created. He lets out a long, sad fart as he dies in his own piss and feces. Hammercock fires 6 shots and kills all 15 gang members. His hairline is strong and good. The end. Wow, that ended perfectly.
Perfectly, actually. I mean, that's kind of serendipitous. It kind of makes you think
Wow.
that maybe we should, you know. So what'd you think? Like, it's the opening scene, you know, it's like kind of like introducing the characters a little bit.
Yeah, well, you introduced a character and then had him be gay, racist, and retarded, and then killed him.
Listen, man, that's like I was inspired, you know. Art speaks through you, you know, so you kind of have to make sure that
Yeah,
you're like,
this whole art speaks through you thing. I don't know if that is something that's being spoken through you necessarily. I think you had some dirty laundry, which is the name of the thing,
Mhm.
you had to air with me. Is this how you think about me?
Well, no, it's like a character. I thought it would be a character. Yes, I thought it's a character that you could play, Like you could definitely play this kind of guy.
I did get the voice pretty good.
You were great. You said Goyles. That was perfect. You really read into that. That's not even in the script.
All right.
Is there any lines that you think specifically you would change? Like, okay, like they're like undercover cops. There's a high school. The cartel is pushing drugs to the high school, kind of like a 21 Jump Street kind of vibe. That was a big movie. I feel like people.
Yeah, I just
kids.
think there could be some audience feedback that would be poor about, the Gumption character making 17 fake Instagram accounts.
That's what you got to do, though. That's what he thinks like the detective.
Yeah, but then he has sex with the entire football team and half of the lacrosse
No,
team.
he catfished them. He didn't have sex with them.
But I think it might imply to the audience that he did because he's so eager.
Yeah, I could see that. Those are good notes.
So
what do you think about like the idea of like having like a sort of like 21 Jump Street where Gumption goes undercover as a student? Like, what do you think about that aspect of it?
I like that idea. I liked the ACT part, and I like that he made a block of wood. That shows that he has, some skills outside of just being a cop.
Right. Kind of makes you think like, who are they accepting as cops at this time?
It does have a little bit of a commentary on police
because this guy can't even read.
But I think with your guy being with Hammercock,
which was a role for me.
Yeah, but you killed 15 guys with 6 bullets.
Well, he's like your hero,
Did he like line them up?
He like lined it up perfectly. It ricocheted off cars and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? He figured out the right angles.
That is pro police. That is pro.
He's like a crack shot police officer,
right?
And you kind of get a look into his personal life. He touches the necklace, Christina.
Now, when Gumption says, and I just wanted to say the N-word one last time. This is the opening scene of the movie?
Yeah. Because you have to lose someone to like fight for. Then he goes after the cartel because they killed his partner. He says, he's like, if this is the end, I want to say I don't understand your methods. You're just a damn good cop. Like even though you're confusing to him, you're kind of like Matthew McConaughey in True Detective,
right? Where you're not totally sure his intentions, but he gets the job done.
Right. He does whatever it takes.
Okay. I do like
the N-word.
I do like the continuity in his character where he goes undercover as a prostitute, but also as a high schooler, and then in the middle he chooses to be a lamp. I think that's a good. That's like it really expresses that his character is a master of disguise.
Yeah, he's like a chameleon. He can become anything. I appreciate
and he
that.
chooses to be a guy who, yeah.
And what do you think about the finale of like how he goes out? Like, what do you think about that end for this scene?
Well, it's kind of sad seeing him because he's got so many qualities that are in dire need of redemption,
right?
That you just don't get to see.
Right, I guess you're right.
So I guess this is like maybe A24 would buy this.
Could be,
but I would love if he didn't get set on fire and covered in his own piss and shit, and then
that's on page 3.
Get bullet holes fired through him.
You're on page 1.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Gumption starts pooing. I don't imagine what I'm because like that's what you do when you die. I hear you like poop sometimes. So I was trying to just be accurate to the experience of death.
But like, is Gumption supposed to be a hero?
No. Well, he's like the inspiration that Hammercock takes to take down the cartel throughout the movie. Like that's like his guy, And when that guy dies, he needs to like not redeem, but like he needs to find vengeance for him.
I just feel like you need a character that's not like a racist, borderline pedophile, as someone who would give you a little more inspiration. You know? Like I've been watching the show Spartacus. Have you ever seen that show?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It's a lot of hot sex. I'll say that.
Okay.
But he's got like his muse, his inspiration is his wife, who is like a beautiful, wonderful woman who can like talk to the gods, and they have this unbelievable relationship. And it's kind of funny because in the show, he's always like fighting as a gladiator. And in every episode, he's fighting someone and he's getting his ass kicked. And everyone in the whatever, everyone watching is always like, wow, I think he's finally going to die. And like me, the audience member, is like, I don't think he's going to die. The name of the show is Spartacus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he died, it would be called like Steve or something. you know?
Right. The famous Roman name. Was it
Right.
Greek? Roman?
The Greek Steve.
Greek Steve. Steve Opolis.
But like he's got a, he's got like a reason to fight.
right.
And I think, I don't know, maybe that should be a little later. You got to set up Gumption a little bit more to be
Okay.
like, here are some, he's good with pets.
Okay.
He likes the smell of babies.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
No, something like he
Yeah.
smells the flowers, you know?
Right,
Have
like
him
you-
do something more redeeming.
Yeah, you put him in a Marshall's and he can find like a really good deal.
Right. Right. He's
Savvy.
He's
Savvy.
he's a
Like
sale
maybe
hunter.
maybe the woodblock he makes like a beautiful sculpture of like a swan or something. And he's
Okay.
like, "Oh, Gumption has all these things against him,
Right.
but he has a true gift or something."
Right. Yeah. I saw Gumption as a guy who's willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, you know? Like he really puts himself on the line,
Yeah,
kind of like
but-
Matthew McConaughey.
But he doesn't. But I would think that's like Hammercock gets the job done.
Right. Well, that's kind of unexpected, you know, like when someone
Okay.
like in Game of Thrones during the Red Wedding, you've been following Robb Stark the whole time, and then he just dies in season 3 or 4.
Right. Okay.
And you're like, oh, that's weird that they did that. And season 1, you're following Ned Stark, and he dies at the end of it. I'm thinking like, oh, so who you would assume is our hero, this racist
Right.
moron who who can't read. Oh, what? He died? That's so I get what you
Yeah.
mean, though. I have to set up a little bit more plot. For
There's
him.
because there's got to be something because then later in the story people can be like, why are you so upset about Gumption? He
Right.
was this, he was that.
No, he found me a cheap shirt at Marshall's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
and
just
maybe
go
in a-
back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Maybe I'll like rework it, and in a couple weeks I'll bring like a different scene in.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
kind of good.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll rework it.
And
a
like
little bit.
if maybe we want to trade parts or something.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
I could
yeah,
read
yeah.
for Hammercock.
Yeah. You could be Hammercock, and I'll be Gumption next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about we do that?
Yeah, I could like rewrite it a little bit to make it be a little more. Like,
Yeah, just keep the character like Hammercock. I think is good.
Yeah, he's like a classic hard.
He's a classic,
you know.
and then Gumption just like fluff him up a little bit, something that you would feel comfortable reading. For.
Okay.
know?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll get back to the drawing board, but writing is a process. It's an ever evolving system.
It is a
you know.
process. But that was fun. Welcome to News from Bed, everybody.
Welcome in.
I
ladies and
hope
gentlemen.
you enjoyed the reading of Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, it's an ever evolving script. So if anyone in the comments has any notes, please comment down below what you thought of it. Maybe we could get some test screenings once I get the script a little bit more ironed out, and we could do we'll like take it to film. And obviously, subscribe to the Patreon so we could fund this project to see Paddy truly get into the role of
Right.
Detective B by Curious.
Yeah, I mean, if let's
Gumption.
say we reach $1,000 a month on the Patreon,
We'll film it.
we'll film it, and I'll get a fake mustache
Okay.
because I think that would be a valuable way. That would be like that amount of money warrants
Right.
a 50-cent fake mustache.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think finally we could take the hit. Finally, we
Exactly. Yeah, I can handle it. But I had 2 job interviews today.
could. Okay. How would they go?
The second went very well. The first one was like one that's like on a video. So I had to like put my shirt on and my
Yeah.
tie and like
Your
sit
monkey
there.
suit?
Yeah, and I did the blurred background.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Because, like, I don't want them, like, looking around being like, oh, he's got a surround sound thing.
He
I
doesn't
bet
need this job.
he doesn't need this, So, like, it could be like a bunch of, like, apricots or whatever in my
Right.
house. And they're like, oh, this guy's selling apricots. He needs a gig.
Right. He's selling apricots. I get that.
So I went into the thing and they were asking me, they're like, yeah, so, like, what would you say your greatest weakness is? And I said, I'm a pedophile. No. That would be a very bold thing to say.
Right. Well, that's only something you say if you know you're not going to get
and
the
then you
job.
go, honesty, though.
They're like, you know what? That guy's a damn good detective, and he's honest.
And he's honest.
I can't do that against him.
But I said, like, honestly, my probably greatest weakness is, like, I don't want to get my professional engineering degree. And I was like, because, like, then you end up you kind of end up managing a bunch of projects, and you're on phone calls, and like you're, you know, you're in meetings the whole time. You're not doing the actual work. And I went on for like 5 minutes, and I was like completely just like bared my soul, like right in front of them. And then they like shuffle some papers and they take a note and they go, yeah, well, we just have to let you know, like, this role is for a project manager. You would be sitting in meetings and taking phone calls.
Oh my God.
And I just like burst out laughing, and I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I guess, like, let me know.
Have a great day.
Yeah. So we just like ended the call, and I was like, that was not good. And that was for like the city of Clearwater, too.
Oh no.
I think it would have been a pretty decent job, but like, to be fair, their listing didn't say that. It didn't say manager.
Right.
It said like specialist. So I'm like, oh, that means I would specialize in a thing and do that, you know?
Jobs are never what they're posted as.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. When like you get there and then they're like, okay, so that thing, we actually don't have that, but we could like maybe try you at this other thing.
Right.
And it's like, okay, that's how I got into my last job. I was supposed to do inspections, and they were like, actually, we need someone in design. I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. But
Right. Yeah, that's like applying for jobs is just like a nightmare.
yeah,
I've been going through it too. I mean, I can't work at this burrito restaurant for the rest of my life. I've been trying to find something else, and it's just like,
you're trying to wrap it up.
yeah, I'm trying to get into the salad market. I'm done with burritos. It's just, you know, it's miserable because every company is run by like an HR person that is completely incompetent, which is why they work in HR. And someone's gonna see this and be like, why would I hire this guy? No, it's true though. Like, I mean, I've had great relationships with HR people, but then when you're interviewing for a job, someone calls you and they like I've had people call me and they're looking at the wrong resume and they're just talking to me about experience that I don't have. And I'm like, this is your only job, is to make sure you're like, one of the basics is, and it's happened at least 3 times, where I'm like, this is like a 50-50 coin toss of if these people are going to be any good at the job that they're doing.
Right.
And so you literally have people who are like managers of departments that throw the hiring has to go through this human resources department. And it's like they're throwing like engineering to like the marketing social media people.
Yeah,
it's like I'm sorry, but your degree was not as hard as other people's. So you're not gonna know what to
You're not
ask
gonna
about.
know. And like, just because you had like a lot of time to coordinate your outfit in the morning doesn't mean like you're any better than me.
Right. No, I mean that's really like what it comes down to is like, okay, so I've just known people who have been HR, you know, it's just very frustrating. And like I've always enjoyed like HR people for like smaller corporations, like smaller things that are like more localized is good. But when you're going through, like I used to work at a radio station and their HR was in the corporate office for the whole country. So you're like, I'm like waiting on the phone on hold for an hour and I'm like, hi, I didn't get paid and I've called 5 times.
Yeah.
You need to pay me or I'm not
Somebody
showing up
just
to work.
touched me.
Oh, sorry. So we actually have to forward you to someone else. What? It's
To
nice
the
when there's a
touchy.
fucking lady in the office you can go talk to. Oh,
Yeah.
hi. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Glenda.
Can you help me? I was just molested.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's like, oh, you was molested? You gonna get charged.
He gonna get charged.
Dude, I thought I talked to my friend about this. I thought it would be, this is like kind of like a Larry David idea. But do you know how like the video interviews, you're always sitting down, you're in sweatpants and like a dress shirt.
Yeah.
Like the bottom half of you is unemployed. And
That's fine.
I was like talking to my friend and I was like, I should wear pants, but make like an excuse to like have to get up to like turn the lights up, be like, oh, I have to fix the lighting to prove that I wore dress pants.
Right.
Because then it like kind of shows that you were like, you went the full mile.
Right.
But you don't have to like, you know, there's no like embarrassing thing where you have to like get up and like,
Yeah.
you should be, oh, hold on one sec. I just got to grab, let me grab a notepad
Right.
quick.
And you have a tuxedo on either leg, like just an individual
yeah.
tuxedo.
Yeah, exactly. You have like bells and 1,000 pockets.
Well, this guy's got incredible pants.
Yeah, this guy can keep a lot of things on his person.
I had a meeting with an HR guy once when I first moved down here and I was trying to get a job and he was hiring for like a local news station and he was like, I hate when you're interviewing for a job and they try to be cool with you a little bit Because it's like you're the thing standing between me and me feeling better about myself. Like you're in the way, and if you can't just move this along. And he was like, he was like this young guy with long hair. He's like, man, like I know what applying for jobs is like. It's miserable to be interviewing, but you're sitting on your computer, you got the screen on. He's like, look, I'm not even wearing pants, and he puts the camera down, and he's wearing shorts, and then I just see his toes. And his toes are like spread out.
What is this, news from bed?
It was like, man, like, why would I want to see your toes in a job interview? He's like, look, man, I'm not wearing pants either. And I'm like, I'm wearing pants.
He's just standing on a surfboard.
Right.
He's like, I'm halfway to the wake.
Excuse me, bro. I got to catch this wave real quick, but I'll be right back so we can talk about your greatest weakness. I don't even know what I say to that question. I think I usually say, like, I'm impatient. Like I always like whenever someone asks you your greatest weakness, you kind of have to say something that's a strength. You're like, I just don't settle for less than like the best. They're like, this guy's interviewed before.
Yeah, I can't stop working.
Yeah.
I just work through the clock overtime.
I heard advice once where like a good question to ask at the end of an interview. So this is also a point. Every time you hear advice from someone, there's just a TikTok out there that's like, this is why you shouldn't do that advice. Like every job advice I've ever gotten, I see like a video. It's like never do these things in an interview, and it's just everything I do in the interview.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm highly unemployable, probably.
I don't know. I feel like so much of an interview is just like the chance of it happening.
You have to be in the right place at the right time.
Or you have to be someone who's like super qualified, but just like doesn't have a job for some reason.
Yeah.
But
the question I always ask is like, what about my qualifications and my resume? Would hold you back from giving me this job that we can clarify on the phone call. So it's like kind of a way to be like, it's like Eminem at the end of 8 Mile. You're like, what? You got nothing because we're going to talk about my flaws.
I remember I tried to do that after like a date one time.
Right. What about my qualifications is making you not suck my dick?
I was like, because it didn't like go well. And I was like, hey, if you had
audited
like...
the
I was like, hey, if you had like any notes or anything, or like,
don't do that.
I was like, what about me was it that didn't really jive? And
she looks down, and you're wearing shorts, and she can see your toes.
I think the girl was like, she was like, why would I ever tell you so that like you could then be the person that I wanted with someone else? And I was like, yeah, I was like, you're saving me a lot of grief, like. I already blew it on this first chance with you, like, so it's not going to work out between us. But
wow. That's like vindictive, what she said. She's like, why would I make you a better person so you could be better for someone else? It's like, well, you're not going to be with me.
Yeah. Well, here's a note for you.
You're fat. That's your note. Lose weight. Like, oh, jeez. Dude, the problem is, at least for me, for the past, 10 years or whatever of looking for jobs, is that fucking profits are declining and the way that the world works is shrinking, and with the increase of AI, and then on the other end of the market, it's like the increase in like cheaper labor in both other countries and immigrant labor that comes here, which I think the immigrant labor...
H-1B, right?
That's when they bring people here.
I think
to
so.
Work here. Yeah. That's the thing that like Vivek got roasted for on Twitter. The thing is, like, it's harder to find a job because people are staying in lower positions for longer. You have like 30-year-olds working entry-level jobs. There's like almost no ability to work your way up once you get into a company. And it's both a flaw of individuals who are like unmotivated to get anywhere, and there's nowhere to go half the time. I mean, in my experience in radio, it's like, yeah, you can just be a part-time board operator until someone dies, and then you can take their job.
Right.
Because there's no other jobs. And so these people with no transferable experience, I mean, the salespeople, the marketing people, the news people, they have transferable experience. On the production side of the radio, what the fuck was I going to go into?
Yeah.
And when I got laid off, 3 other guys who have been working in the company for like 15 and 10 years, for 2 of the other guys got laid off. And it's like, well, you just spent the past, decade being an on-air sports radio commentator and like entertainment person. What is this? You might as well do what I did and go work at a burrito shop, because there's no transferable skills to anything outside of this industry.
Every job now is like being the guy that announces the Yankees.
Yes.
Like Derek Jeter. It's like, well, there's only one of that guy, and he's 578 years old.
Yeah, you wait for him to die, and then they pick someone who's not even from the same market. That's also a problem. It's like in news.
Derek Jeter?
Girl from California.
Wait, is this Bruce Jenner's son?
No. Go back to the Dodgers, lady. You shouldn't be with the Yankees. I love New York. Brunch, the subway.
Stepping up to bat. Brunch shopping spree.
Yay! Oh, Aaron Judge, isn't he a hunk?
Oh my God! Look how cute he is.
Wow. What is he, 7'8"?
Oh, did you see, dude? That this is big news in the Yankees world.
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna bring up.
Yeah,
You
I
can be
don't
gay
have
on
the
Yankees now.
I don't have the video here,
No.
but the Yankees just made it legal. I guess legal
Legal. You
to
can have a beard.
to have a beard. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Why? Every other team can have a beard.
Yeah, but like
That's my team.
it's like it's the Yankees. Like you're supposed to. There's supposed to be some kind of a like a standard there. We'll get to that video in a little bit, but
Okay.
I don't like because the whole thing that separated the Yankees from like the Red Sox was the
illusion of professionalism.
exactly, dude. Like I don't grow a beard for this podcast.
Because you're trying to be professional?
I'm trying to be on the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah, imagine I made like a thing that made you shave your beard. It's like, James, we got a new set of standards now.
Yeah, you make like an edict. You post it on the wall.
Yeah. The edict of nah beards.
Nah, beards. I gotta take my beard off. Paddy, I don't understand. I mean, I could shave it down and keep the mustache. I mean, a lot of Yankee players had mustaches. Towards
That's
the end.
true.
But
Yeah.
I understand, but also like at the end of the day, this was going to happen anyway. And after like a World Series loss, it might as well be the time to do that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I don't know. We're not exactly a winning dynasty here at News from Bed
Right.
yet.
Maybe one day we'll be the Yankees of podcasting.
Yeah,
and, then you
and
can start
then-
being Hitler about what people do.
Exactly.
When Kanye was making My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he made people like show up to the studio in suits and work from like 9 to 5 or something. Like he was very regimented about it. And once we get to that level where we're disgraced and working our way back,
Yeah.
then you can be like, no beards. You
Yeah.
got to wear suits on the podcast, and I want my sheets ironed.
Exactly.
I want my pillows starched.
It's funny that like you could, by the law of Yankees, you could have a Hitler mustache.
Yes, that'd be
And-
funny. If there was any funny guys on the Yankees, they would have just had the Hitler
Yeah.
mustache the whole time.
Did you see the USA versus Canada?
Yeah.
I guess are they playing like a 3-game series or something?
No, I think it's over.
Okay, they lost.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Canada won.
they won the first one and like beat the shit out of the Canadians, like
Yeah.
physically. That was pretty cool
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
because they tried to fuck with our Star Spangled Banner.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
They like booed the Star Spangled Banner, so
Right.
they were like, okay, 3 fights in the first 8 seconds. Of
Fuck
the game.
you, dude. I like hockey. Everyone was watching the
pretty
game
good.
last night. I was at a show. I was super late to a show. I had 3 shows last night, and I thought I was in one show in downtown, and then I thought I just had to go like 15 minutes away to the beach, but I actually had to go to Clearwater. I'm doing like gestures with my feet. I shouldn't do that. Like I'm like doing like so I was here, and then I had to go here. Like why did I do that? So I was someone just came. I was in downtown, and I had to go all the way to Clearwater instead, which is about a 35-minute drive versus 15.
Yeah.
And so they're like texting me like they were like, how far away are you? And I look at my phone and it says I'm going to get there at like 9:20. And I go, 9:15, I'll be there. 'Cause I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
I'm going to speed and see what I can do. And they're like, how long till you get here? And I was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes because I was 5 minutes away. And the guy was like, is that true? And I was like, yes, I lied about 9:15, but
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
going to be there. But the problem was I got there and 2 people had dropped out.
Oh,
And so
okay.
when you are late, but you're still showing up,
Yeah.
and you can do the 20-minute set they need you to do to fill the time, that you're like Jesus Christ. You're
Yeah.
like forgiven for your sins because you're like, well, at least he fucking showed up.
Yeah,
I guess, you know?
exactly. Because that was the thing in New York. Like half the comics, you'd run a show and you'd be like, okay, we need good comics. We need like a headliner, and you would pick these like really talented comics, and then like 5 minutes before they're supposed to go on, they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it,
Right.
and then they just don't respond. That would happen like all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And there were comedians that were like notorious for it.
Yeah. There's people who you knew.
It wasn't like Nico White like that.
Yeah. Patty's dropping names. No, he was, though. There was a lot of I mean, I can't even name all the comics. People do that all the time.
I kind of get it if you're like
if you can go up at a club and you don't have to go up at a bar, that's a different story.
Yeah, if
But-
you're like a really like a pretty successful New York comic where you probably have like an HBO or a Netflix thing or whatever, it's like fine. If you're like 6 or 7 years into comedy and you're pulling that shit, like I'm gonna literally shove you off the Empire State
Well,
Building
I was
if
at a
get
show
chance.
before, and 2 of the comics that were there, I mean, this is maybe revealing too much. They were like, "Oh, you're going to Clearwater tonight too," and I was like, "Clearwater? I thought I was on at Sunshine." And they're like, "No, you have to go over to Clearwater." I was like, "Oh," but I never thought I'm not gonna go.
Right.
I was like, "Okay, I'll have to make it work. Like, I'll be last," because I already told them I would be late because I knew I had the show before.
right.
So
right.
that's what I always try to do. I always try to tell them that I'm going to be late. So it's hard to be mad when I told you I'd be late.
right.
And so I show up at the show, and one of the guys just didn't show up. And it was like, man, like we're not in the business here in Tampa of being able to just skirt out on shows. You don't have it like that.
No, yeah. And
There's not an unlimited amount, and none of you are like famous or like well known enough
I
to
know.
be able to do that.
Yeah, and you picked a few.
Oh,
you picked a
yeah.
bone with the.
I posted something. This is before I went to my shows last night, and yeah, I got some heat on Instagram from some people about this photo. Well, maybe it won't show up. It's not
What did
showing.
you send it to me on?
I
phone.
texted it to you. You want me to send it to you on Instagram? Or you could pull up my Instagram and look at the story if you want.
Yeah, I don't have my
Your Instagram logged in?
keyboard.
Let
Well,
me that's see. Okay. We can do it in post. You love doing things in post, right?
I do like doing things in post, but
Just
I
open it. It
wish.
should open. Hit
Yeah.
open.
Oh wait,
Hit open with, and you can open with a different thing.
I still can't even read this even with glasses
Down
on.
one
That's-
more right there. Open with photos. Down one.
I
Down one.
tried
There you
that
go.
one, though.
Okay, go to paint. Open
Let's
it in
try
paint. You can
paint.
draw on it. Nope.
Oh, you know what it is? Because it's a iPhone image.
It's
an HEC.
Well, this kind of. Come on.
I know. I don't know why it doesn't.
What are we
I could
gonna
do a quick conversion and pull it up.
It's okay. We don't have to go through all that.
Are you sure? Because it would
Yeah.
take me like 3 minutes, and you could just vamp.
Okay.
You want to do it? Let's
Do it.
try
You do
it.
that
This
and
would be
I'll
a fun
talk.
thing to do in the pod.
All right. Paddy's going to convert to Islam. He's going to convert my file to Islam. All right. I want to tell you guys something that happens in comedy if you don't know. People in comedy are egotistical, maniacal assholes. If you have the gumption, speaking of detective gumption, if you have the gumption to become a stand-up comedian, that comes with the territory of being someone that has some element of ego to feel like I should be the one talking in the room. And you see that flawed sense of ego in no other bigger form than in amateur or local comedy. And something I see quite often is comics who are anywhere from 0 to 3 years into comedy making graphics of the shows that they are on. Like, come see me at shows. Here's all the shows I'm on for this week. Here's all the shows I'm on for this month. And I'm a hater. I'm in Florida. I moved out of New York.
Ain't nobody got no time for
I'm
that.
not being conservative with my word choices, particularly when it comes to my own goddamn Instagram. So I thought to myself, this is funny. And so I posted this photo. I like to post my opinions over my face. I don't need to break down like my thought process, but I like doing that. I like blogging on my face. So I basically posted this, and it just says, "Hey comics, what percentage of people that follow you actually need to see a post of the shows you're doing every week?" Because I'm not going to read the whole post. You can read it if you want. Pause here. Addy will probably keep it on the screen.
Yeah,
for a
it's
certain
on the
amount of time.
screen.
But-
one thing I liked is this on your Instagram story was directly after a thing on your story about a show you were on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, so your thing is don't make a post, just like put it on your story or whatever.
Don't learn how to do graphic design to make a story or regular post of all the shows you're on one month. You are allowed to do that. And I want to say,
Oh, like you're a
prefacing-
touring guy.
like you have
Yes.
dates.
Yeah.
You're
I
going
agree.
around town. And listen, I am saying this from the experience of someone who has done this. In 2022, I had more shows than I have now. I used to have like maybe 30 shows a month, and I would put June and a cool black and white photo of myself in every place I'm doing comedy that month. And then after about 3 of them, I go, who would come to these shows that I don't know?
Yeah.
Who needs me to advertise this myself?
Well, here's a big thing too: is a lot of comics. It's like, do you want the same people to come? This is supposed to be the time where you grind in silence. You know, you want a different audience every time. You don't want like a bunch of fans that show up to every one of your shows, which wouldn't happen. But if they did show up to every show and you're doing the same 8 minutes or whatever, like you're gonna look pretty bad.
Yes.
If you at this
you
point,
have nothing to show.
Yeah.
You have nothing to show. It's not like a birthday show. If you're tagged, and this is what you just said, if you're tagged in a poster and you're promoting a show that you're on, share it. Who gives a fuck? Share it because you're sharing someone else's project that they're working on where it's a show and you're promoting that for the visualization. My issue is there's no upward mobility in comedy. So these people go, I will be my own upward mobility. I will make my own date posters. I will pick people that I think are good and bad and oppress them and book them or talk shit about them based on my own discretion. And here's the thing. I don't give a fuck what you do if you're good. If you're bad, don't make a poster with all your dates on it because you suck. And everyone who had a problem with this is not good enough to be doing it that responded to me. And you know who didn't have a problem with it? Everyone that's good. People that are good agree with me on this because they swipe up and they go, that makes sense. And there's comics in the scene who have a bigger, following, or you're doing something for yourself. That's whatever. But posting a clip from News from Bed, posting a clip from a podcast, posting a stand-up reel, which have all their own problems. The podcast is maybe the most permissible to me clip to post because you're adding to what everyone else does. But like stand-up, maybe not. People I know from New York post fucking stand-up clips where they get no laughs and they just fucking post it. It's like, what are you doing? You're just doing the thing you think you're supposed to do.
So the reason why people would do the thing where they'd be like June, July, whatever, is because they're a comic like Giannis Pappas or like Joe List or someone who so many people are reaching out to them being like, when are you performing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm too dumb to go to your website.
Right.
So it was such a flood of people that he's like, okay, I'll post a thing of my tour dates to try to promote this because it's actually going to reach people who are going to buy tickets in that market.
Yes.
There's no market anymore. Like none of it, even if you have 100,000 Instagram followers, I don't think anyone is looking at you and being like, yeah, I'm going to go see their show.
Right.
Like maybe 2 people
out of a handful of people.
Out of that amount. Like
if you're mildly famous and you do that, that's a different story because there's an audience there.
Right.
What I'm asking in this post is what is the purpose of someone who's on 2 shows in 1 week to go onto Canva and pick a photo of themselves and put the shows that they're on every week or on this week wherever they are.
I know the purpose. The purpose is because there was someone in high school who you were attracted to who never fucked you. And you're like, maybe if I make it look like I'm doing a lot of stuff and I'm an important comic, they're going to maybe wish they would have fucked me back in the day. And that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what I say in this. You're flexing on people you used to know. You're not getting better at comedy. Learning to make posters doesn't make you any better at comedy. It doesn't make you any closer to being famous. Doesn't make you any funnier. So maybe instead of putting effort into that, or even being the kind of person, because I was that kind of person. I'm like big brothering you right now and looking and saying, I did that. It doesn't matter and it doesn't work and it's stupid and it's small. I'm getting a little pissed off about something very small. There's bigger issues in comedy. But I just think this is something that, like,
I think it's
something indicative of a bigger cultural shift in this medium.
And I think this market we're in needs to realize that. Because, like, when you do this shit in New York, like, people just talk shit about you behind your back. And it eventually, like, comes around back to you where you're like, oh, yeah, I guess that was, like, kind of embarrassing that I would do that. But I mean, people still do it in New York, obviously, because they don't have any idea or any pulse on what's going on. But, like, this particular market, like Tampa, St. Pete, if you're doing comedy around here and you think that anyone gives a fuck, you're wrong. This is the beautiful time to be a comedian too, when nobody knows who you are. You have the pleasure of walking into a room with a bunch of people who have no preconceived notions about you. They haven't heard any of your bits. They don't know anything. It's the ultimate opportunity to surprise them and give them a show that they never thought they would expect.
Yes.
And then it's like, then that's how you win them over, you know? Like if you see someone on your phone, it's like, it's never as good as it's going to be in the room. And I guess you can get a lot of followers that way, but what does that really get you except like maybe like the opportunity to be sponsored by Hello Fresh to make like an ad or something like that?
Yeah, if you have an audience, it's different. If you don't, why are you treating people you used to know like they're fans? It's what problem I have with Instagram. Everyone I follow and that follows me on Instagram is someone that I am friends with, that I have conversations with, or at one time in my life was close enough to that I feel a desire to know what they're up to. And I mean, people were swiping up. People were disagreeing with me.
Yeah, who?
This guy G said, you got to fake it till you make it. Show these N-words I got motion. He's black. He's allowed to say
Okay.
show these N-words I got motion. Well, you know what, G? I think faking it till you make it is great. But you need to have better material. You need to write more. Not you specifically. Yes, you specifically, but you're also newer to comedy, so that's fine. I mean, when you did the roast battle, we talked about how this was like the first time you had been on a stage that was that big.
Yeah,
so it's like it's fine. But what are you faking? I'm not even talking about G. G's a nice guy. He's a funny young man. I think he's the same age as me, so I don't know why I call him
this
a young
whole
man.
faking it till you make it. What if you just get really good till you make it?
There's no faking. You don't fake it till you make it. You faking it till you make it is going. The faking it is going, I'm going to go to Paddy's apartment every Friday and do a podcast. The faking it is an internal delusion. It's not a delusion you project onto the people that you've known your entire life. You project that delusion. The faking it is, I deserve to be here.
Right.
I have something to say. That's the faking it. Daniel Parafan said, I agree, kind of. But the posturing actually helps attract more bookings. People see you're working and busy, and it gets others on board. Well, Daniel Parafan might be on a different level than me. He kind of maybe runs around town and always got on more shows than me. So he's also in New York. I'm not really talking about New York, but I don't think Daniel Parafan even knows that I don't live in New York anymore. I've had 2 conversations with the guy, and he asked me to follow him on YouTube. And then a year later, he said, "Oh, I got to get you back for the follow on YouTube." I was like, "That was a year ago, Daniel." That was a year ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then this guy Tony who books me, he was like, you good, bro? Make sure you like my March shows post, please. But Tony's a nice guy. I'm not talking about Tony because Tony's a guy who does enough shows and brings people out to shows. Again, some of you people don't even bring people to shows or do anything for anyone. You don't produce shows. You don't host a mic. You don't do anything for the community. So if you're going to post your fucking dates, at least have an ounce of something to offer anyone else, because at least a guy like fucking, I don't know, Dan Bask has enough shows to where he has people, he hosts a podcast. He opens for Jordan Jensen. He does a good job for himself and is probably the most successful comic in the scene right now. So when he posts his dates, I don't give a fuck because he's doing well for himself. I'm talking about these people who've never done well in a room posting these things. Get to work. Get to fucking work.
And Dan Bask also, like, is not a comic phony. Like, he actually Me Too'd someone. So you know he's legit.
All right.
Anyway, I think
you have to blur my face when you say that.
I think I told you those fake mustaches would have come in handy.
Yeah.
But
who's that guy screaming about Tampa comedy?
I think this is a good kind of segue because, like, if you're someone who is posting a whole lot and you eventually get to a point in your life where you get the chance to be on stage, you don't want to be caught with your pants down, you know? And this happened, I don't know if you saw this. This is the BAFTA Awards, the 2025 BAFTA, what is BAFTA for? Like a bathtub?
It's like the British Oscars.
Oh, British, what is it?
British,
British,
fucking telly awards.
Yeah, and they had Mark Hamill.
Yeah, famous British actor Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Is he British?
No.
Oh,
He's American.
Yeah, wait, he's not British.
He's not British.
Okay, because he must have been using the metric units for his belt size here, because this is a little something that happened during the awards when he was
see.
presenting.
So what makes us love cinema so much that we're all gathered here to celebrate tonight?
Let me just say, first of all, he looks like he's a little nervous, and I think it's because
He has Parkinson's.
he does kind of look like
He looks like he's succumbing to a disease.
he looks like the guy who has Parkinson's. What's his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
For me, it's that films create worlds so vivid and stories
So
so
right here-
powerful
Do you
Wait,
see?
his pants fell down? His pants fell down?
that we lose ourselves in them completely.
His pants fell
They
down!
create immersive cinematic landscapes that feel alive, whether they're set here in London or anywhere. So what
His pants fell off at the fucking BAFTA Awards?
His pants literally fell off. Hold on,
makes
let's
us
watch
love
this
cinema
again.
so much that we're all gathered here to celebrate tonight? For me,
It's like
that
right
films
about
create
here,
worlds so
he kinda
vivid
shifts
and
his hips and
stories
he's
so
like, "Oh."
powerful.
And he starts grabbing. And then I don't know who is the camera operator here,
That we lose ourselves in them completely.
but they cut to the
They
wide
create
shot.
immersive cinematic landscapes
He's really like struggling to get this up. He's like ruffling his tuxedo.
that feel alive, whether they're set
And they
here.
cut here. You can see how big his pants are. Like, I don't know who fit him. It wasn't like a Tuscan
Why
Raider.
wouldn't he say something about it? That's such a perfect opportunity to be like, oh my God, my pants just fell. To
yeah.
pretend like that didn't just happen is the worst thing to do.
It's really bad.
I would
'cause
be like, okay, I guess my pants just fell off at a big important moment, so this is weird. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
say something, Mark. What are you doing? Just to quietly
So-
pull your pants up and keep talking? Is it because he's in England and he doesn't? He's like, oh, it's very improper.
It's very improper. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but also the shape of the podium doesn't help because people must have seen. They had to have cut to it because they're like, this could be like viral, and we need who's watching the BAFTAs. But if like I'm watching the BAFTAs and there's a chance that like I get to see Selena Gomez's right nipple because the wardrobe, whatever, have all been put on acid. I think that would be an interesting way to get more people to watch.
That's so weird,
It's
man.
very weird that he would like.
Just not
Or in London,
acknowledge and his
or any-
pants fell off? And then what the fuck is going on? Would he just go out there with his pants down? Listen, in college, I would get drunk and just fucking undo my top button because I was so bloated and drunk I'd be falling asleep on John's couch being like, and they're like, why are your pants on? I'm fucking drunk. No fucking babes
Yeah.
here. I'm fucking drunk and tired.
No, but I'm pretty sure he's like completely lucid here. Like he seems a little nervous, but he probably knows. Like before he took the stage, he probably knew. Holy crap, my pants are not like staying on
He
me.
should have just left him down.
Also, he's
Just
like
leave him down and be like, yep. Like, that would be way funnier to just let the fucking pants fall.
laughter at the BAFTAs today when
that's-
Mark Hamill.
Oh, dude, the Sun probably has that on their front
Just love
page right
cinema
now.
so much that we're all gathered here to celebrate tonight.
fuck
For
is
me,
this?
it's that films create worlds so vivid and stories so powerful.
You see his
that we
eyes
lose
widen a little
ourselves in
bit. He's
them
like, and my
completely.
pants just fell down.
They create immersive cinematic landscapes that feel alive, whether they're set here
the
in London
fuck?
or anywhere.
He doesn't
so
say
what
anything
makes
about
us
it?
love cinema
No,
so
he
much?
doesn't say anything.
That's ridiculous. What are the comments on this post? Okay, well, that's a different thing.
Let's see here. I can zoom in a little bit.
You have to give him credit for just dealing with it, whatever it was, without getting derailed. No. It's not impressive. This is all AI. This is not what I...
Okay, yeah.
The force is not strong in that belt. All right, Defiant Alex.
I was thinking of Michael J. Fox if he was the role of Anakin. Like, imagine his force choke if he was just like
Yeah.
fucking.
Okay, I'm back. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like it's like it's just kind of uncomfortable
Couldn't happen to a more fitting person. So people are really like
because Mark
They-
Hamill's liberal and all the Republicans.
he's super liberal, hates Trump. So this is kind of like a metaphor when, Trump starts doing things that are actually good. It's like, okay, now liberals are caught with their pants down,
right.
So it is like kind of like the universe playing a little joke on him. The force is, real.
Right.
The force of gravity, at least. Let's see if that's a comment in here.
Yeah. If not, add that in there. I'd expect nothing less from this liberal elite than seeing he really always had a small lightsaber. Well, you don't see his lightsaber.
Yeah, you
It's
don't
not
see.
funny.
That's unfair. I'd imagine he is a
You
very
ever
average...
notice you become uglier and more unattractive when you become more and more? Okay.
Everything is so politically charged now.
You know what's funny is like you kind of need a victimized population to react to the population that's in power. So when
Yeah.
Trump was in office the first time, the left was on their toes about seeing what was going on and figuring it out. And then when Biden's in power, the right is on the outside and they're analyzing things that are happening. Those are the people that question, COVID lockdowns. Those are the people that question, you're questioning the decisions made. And now the liberals, it's like people like have such short memories that then when they become the reactive force, as opposed, like Republicans work better as a reactive force than they do as a force in power. I just believe that. I think that this is a weird administration. This is like different. This has like a vengeance to it that like is like taking over their like influence on things. Or they're like getting a lot of things.
A lot like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's you're gonna. This is what happens. When Obama's in power for 8 years, Fox News had a field day. That's how you got Trump, because Obama was being shat on Fox News for 8 years. And then when Trump comes out, they've just been insulated for 8 years that, like, there's just honestly no way Hillary's going to win at that point if you just have this, like, I don't know what the word is, like fired up population of people that are ready to go. And then you have people in lockdown during Trump in the first administration. They're going out to vote with masks on. They're scared of the administration, see it as a mishandling.
Yeah.
And then they vote Biden in. And then you come out of Biden where people are like, okay, so there's like an old senile man who dropped out of the election 3 months before it. Like, this is obviously some sort of incompetence going on here.
Right.
And then they're all, then you get those swing voters. I don't give a fuck about swing voters.
I like your idea you were saying, like, you got to own it with the pants down, because I don't think there's ever a more attractive look that a man can have than being in a full tuxedo with your pants down.
Yeah.
Because your shirt goes low enough to cover, like, what I assume is whitey tighties that he has under there.
Yeah.
Like the way he handled pulling up his pants, I'm like, he doesn't have like Calvin Kleins or whatever.
He should have let them drop, finished the speech, and then waddled off stage with his pants around his ankles.
And said, mommy.
Yeah, he should have done something like that instead of just pulling them up. I mean, it's unfortunate. He's an older man. It's embarrassing to see older people in positions, but like, he's been in comedies. He knows what the fuck he's doing. So the idea that like, this is not like an important moment for you, Mark Hamill. I'm sorry. It's not
You've
like
already
your big
done
moment.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're done, man. Just fucking fuck around. You think if
So
that
what
happened to
makes us
Harrison
love
Ford,
cinema
he
so
wouldn't
much?
say anything. He would be like, oh, my fucking pants just
like,
fell down.
wow. Somebody,
I guess I'm erect again and broke my back.
yeah, I better Indiana Mike Jones out of here. The Great Circle. This is like a great moment for him to get some love from the people who don't like him, Like, if you recognize how funny it is and you're like, oh my God, you guys will never believe this on TV. Cut to the wide shot. My pants just fell off.
Right.
It's like, I'm 70 whatever years old. This
Right.
is funny, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is such an odd clip, and then you go to the comments, and it's just these people being like, "This is what happens when you're." First of all, it's like he's a celebrity. He looks good for his age. When he popped out in The Last Jedi, I thought he looked good. Like, he did a good job. I thought he looks like a good guy. Like, he looks like well put together. And so, like, to be like, you're ugly when you're left. It's like, no, dude. Honestly, the right wing isn't winning with the lookers as much either. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Matt Gaetz, J.D. Vance, these are freaky looking boys. Let's be honest with ourselves. So, like, I'm just a little bit confused about, like, you just get, like, these people who I call it, like, NPC syndrome, where people start to believe that, like, they're qualified enough to make these sweeping calls about society. Right. And it's like, you're just a guy being like, this fits exactly into my worldview. Yep, Mark Hamill, this is what you deserve because you're a liberal. It's like, man, what if you were just fun? What if we just laughed at this and weren't political about it?
That would be nice. It would be a breath of fresh air.
Republicans need to stop giving a fuck what celebrities say about stuff, because they desperately want celebrities in the media and the adoration of, like, the culture class to like them, and they never will. So stop being like, oh, who gives a fuck what celebrities say, and then only have Fox News constantly talk about what celebrities say.
It's
about
not
politics.
cool to be a Republican. It's just correct. But,
John's gonna be mad about that.
My
is Paddy a Republican?
I didn't tell you about this, but because I wanted to save it for the pod, dude. But the other night, I had a wet dream.
You did it! Yes! Yes!
Okay, so to set the like context, I have not
This is Paddy's
whacked
jerk
off.
market.
Yeah, this is my chart thing here. I have not whacked off
Your bustological sign?
in
I'm a Pisceman.
41 days.
Wow.
And I guess like at that point, like your body is more susceptible to nocturnal emissions.
Right. And you're such a dream.
I'm such a
fag.
dream guy. I'm a dream guru. But dude,
You're a dream gooner.
the context of this was so underwhelming because like you think when you have a wet dream, it's like, oh yeah, I spent the whole night with like Suzanne Summers or whatever.
Right. Suzanne Summers?
Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh. Or like, I don't know, like some kind of, it's always like a celebrity, but not the one you want. But it's like, you're at least with a woman and you're performing some kind of a sexual act, you know? Like, I think my first ever wet dream, or at least the closest when I was like a child, it was like this.
She's an actress that died in 2023.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, she's beautiful. That was perfect.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Don't give me another wet dream.
This would be a daytime emission.
But,
I can't believe you're admissioning about your nocturnal emission.
I know, dude. It's an admission. But my first one when I was like a kid, or at least the closest I got, there was this woman who worked at my church, and I never thought anything of her. But like, I had this dream.
Sister Teresa.
She was like the you know how there's like a school kind of side to being a Catholic where
Yeah.
you come in late on
CCD.
Mondays. CCD. She was like the CCD coordinator, and I had like a dream that I was like kissing her legs. But dude, this one, I was literally sitting in my dream. I was sitting on a couch watching a movie, and I had like a blanket on me, and I just busted. And then like people came into the room, like just random people. I had no idea who they were. And they were like, "Hey, can I have that blanket?" And I was like, "You cannot take this blanket from me." And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "I just accidentally came in my pants." And dude, in the dream, I like had to get up and like clean myself off. And then I woke up and I had like busted. So I had to get up in real life and then clean myself off again. It was like the most uncool thing.
Yeah.
Like you would, oh God, dude, to have like an actual wet
like
dream.
A sex dream, yeah. Those are
I
the ones
know.
that you
I
want.
never have sex dreams.
I've never had
A wet one?
a wet dream. I've never had one. I started jerking off too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I guess so. Yeah, because like
I never got one. I've never gotten one.
Yeah, they're like it's like kind of it's not as much as you'd hope.
How much do you think I hope it would be?
I don't know.
A bucket full?
Yeah, you would
I gotta get a new mattress before a lady lays in here and gets impregnated.
yeah, you would expect to be like swimming, you know, but like it was just like I guess like a little bit, but
Thanks for the detail.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's funny that it wasn't a sex dream for you.
I know it's like very disappointing.
For you, I mean, for me, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last like sex dream I had was I don't know if I've ever even had sex in a dream. I've come like close, but I get like turned down in my dreams.
Yeah, I do too, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm like, this is my dream.
And I have no effect over it. Like I
Yeah.
can't just bang girls in my dreams.
Is my wish to not like have you, want to bed me right now?
I
But-
have dreams like I had a dream the other night where just like a lady just like opened her ass in my face, but there was no like hole. This is my dreams. I don't care about sharing it, but it's just like, and I like wake up and I was like, it wasn't even sex. It was a lady prying her ass open in my face, and it wasn't like horny either. It was like she was being inappropriate by doing
Yeah.
that. That's like the closest I get to like
when
a
you
sex
say like
dream.
open your ass, you imagine them like flicking on like a sign and like sweeping the front
Yeah,
floor.
come on in.
Welcome everybody.
Everybody.
Grand opening.
Got my fanny.
I should do a grand opening for my ass one day.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
friend, I guess
News from bed would love that. The
my-
fan base would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're first in line."
my friend's girlfriend told us last night that she keeps trying to like get into my friend's butt.
Okay.
Like she has a what were we were saying? She keeps egging for a pegging. You know,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
like she keeps wanting him to. She wants to do something to his butt, and her like whole thing is like that's the male pleasure center. But like I disagree. I think like we have a penis for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's like the DLC. If for some reason like the story mode on your penis is like worn its welcome, you've gotten all the achievements.
Yeah, you had your wet dreams.
Exactly. You've done all the things that you need to do. You've 100%ed your penis. Then you go to the DLC.
It's like a media-based fantasy, I think, in a way too. That happened. Like, I mean, we talked about this earlier, but I just watched The True Detective season 1, and Woody Harrelson is like telling a story about when he got a blowjob and her roommate walked in and just stuck a finger in his ass, and he's like, "I've needed it ever since." And I was like, "Yeah, but then that girl had like poo all over her finger."
Yeah, and that's
Because
what you don't want. You don't want to need
to the
it.
male G spot. It's like in there. It's not just
Yeah,
on the
dude.
rim.
You need like a James Cameron submarine.
Yeah, my ass looks like the one that exploded in the bottom of the ocean. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you getting up in there.
My ass looks like the road to the bank in Sisu. It's just filled with landmines
and Nazis. Stray dogs.
and gold.
And gold, dude. You got to get those gold nuggets out of Paddy's ass because he eats a lot of corn.
Yeah, I think we're like pretty much at the end of the episode here.
All right.
We got some fun stuff for the Patreon, so make sure you check that out. Patreon.com/news from bed. Obviously, we have the foot cam there for all of you
Perverts.
Crazy perverts.
For all of our nighttime emissions.
And just a bonus hour every week. Yeah, and maybe if we do this play, which you're going to, write the characters a little bit better to be a little more,
Better,
not as like,
just a different direction.
yeah, whatever.
I would say the writing was impeccable.
It was good writing. I just, for my own personal benefit, I'd like a strong character.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty strong in his convictions.
I guess, but not in the way that I had hoped.
Right.
But maybe we'll do that and put that on the Patreon.
Okay. That'd be fun.
Or at least maybe a longer form of that on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Have a little snippet on the episode. But yeah, check that out. We got a lot of people coming in. I think we're at like 42 members or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, not all of them are paid, which is funny because you don't get anything for not paying. But I don't know if they know that yet. But it's a growing community, and I have a little chat there that I keep trying to use to be like, hey, what should we talk about?
Yeah,
because that would be fun to get some community feedback.
Your
So
feet. We want to talk about your feet.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah, check that out, and thank you, James.
Hey, thank you
for
Paddy.
all you contribute to this.
Hey,
podcast.
man, I just love yelling. If you liked my rant or my post, follow me on Instagram at Nighttime Emissions.
All right.
Good night.
Signing off.
You gotta say good night.
Good night.
That's what you do.